2, 1, and liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis.
You're watching SpaceFlightNow's coverage of the last shuttle to Hubble.
Look who's dropped in. Bob Crippen. It's good to see you, Bob. It's nice to see you.
That's one of the reasons that I'm in this coalition you referred to, that people that are passionate about the program and industry, to try to make sure people know how important the space program is to us.
Yeah, I think people might take it for granted. I think they're only waking up to the realization that in 9 missions from now, there's not going to be a capability for the U.S. to get to space for quite some time.
That's true. In fact, they're making decisions right now that are bringing it down. They're going to be tough to reverse.
Yeah.
So, but that's where we are right now, and I'm pleased actually that this Norm Augustine review group that you mentioned is coming in, because I think it has an opportunity to prove that NASA's on the right course and to get the administration on board with that. I think the world of Norm Augustine, he'll give it a good, honest review.
Well, every administration wants to put their imprint on space.
Sure.
We all know that. And this maybe is that vehicle for the Obama administration to put its imprint on. I guess when people hear about top-to-bottom reviews, they think, oh boy, the baby could go out with the bathwater here.
That's always a possibility, but as I said, I think NASA's got a good program with Constellation, and it just gives everybody a chance to go take a hard look at it, and I believe it'll come out saying essentially this is the right thing to do.
Well, if you had your druthers and you were the king of the world or running the show, what would you do? Would you keep the shuttles flying and concurrently build a successor vehicle, a constellation, whatever you want to call it?
Well, it's a matter of money. And, with the amount of monies we're having to put into bailouts and other things, it doesn't seem to me that it would be that tough to add on a couple of $1 billion to NASA's budget. It means jobs, it means productivity, and that's what it would take. I personally believe that we can continue flying the shuttle safely way past 2015.
I mean, really, you hate to say just a few billion, but it really, in the grand scheme of things, let's face it, the NASA budget on an annual basis is a lot less than Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme, right?
lot less.
That puts it into some perspective here. Folks moan about the cost of NASA. When you consider its impact and the fact the attention it brings and the inspiration it gives to young people, it's difficult to find another federal agency that gives you more bang for the buck.
Absolutely. It's like less than a half a cent out of the federal budget dollar that is spent on the program, and it it does lots of things. I know everybody's worried about the climate right now, global warming, and what you need is data. And NASA has provided that data with satellites and payloads that we put aboard the shuttle, and could continue doing so.
Well, no, it's true. What do you think we get the climate data? It comes from satellites.
Absolutely.
This is spaceborne. It's not like we have thermometers in every little quadrant of the ocean.
You do some ground truth, but it's what you get from space that really gives you the data.
I don't know that people understand the spin-offs, the amount of economic impact that comes out of, let's say you make a decision to go to the moon, like they have. There are companies that would be eager at the opportunity to come up with, electric bulldozers and, earth-moving machines. Well, you wouldn't call it Earth up there. Moon-moving machines, right? What'd you call it? Regolith moving machines for the moon, and that has a direct impact on our economy, competitiveness, and jobs.
Absolutely, and that's also what NASA's about, is pushing technology. And as you said, that technology gets used in various ways. Most of us here today are so used to Twittering or whatever they call that.
You be careful. This crowd out here is they'll get mad at you, Bob.
Well, I know, but it's good that the way we're in communication today, in my era when I grew up, that wasn't even thought possible.
In 9 launches, including today's, no more shuttles, and the U.S. will have this big gap. And now there's a lot of the contractors, the workforce, maintaining the expertise. All those things come into question. How much concern is there at Boeing?
Huge concern here at Boeing and with the Coalition for Space Exploration. I know that you had Bob Crippen on earlier to talk about our organization, which is a group of almost 15 aerospace companies and people that just love space like we do. And there's a huge concern when you think about we talk about the Gap, and to most people, most Americans and people around the world, they think of the Gap as a place to go buy jeans and a t-shirt, but really this is a huge issue, and I think enemy number one for the aerospace companies, and not only for that, but for our country. I think that what we're seeing here is that when shuttle retires in 2010, maybe somewhat in 2011, that there is, the United States is not going to have an ability to launch humans into space for at least 5 years, and after this Augustine panel, it could be longer than that. So, as an American and as a taxpayer, I'm hugely concerned about that.
Well, I tell you what, let's talk about the Augustine panel, because just in case people aren't as dialed into that, Norm Augustine has been appointed by the Obama administration to create a commission, probably 10 or so commissioners, to do a top-to-bottom review. Do we need another review, or do we need to just get going?
Selfishly, I say no, but you know what? This is an opportunity to be a good thing, because if we can go through this review in 60 to 90 days max and sell the administration on what the current plan is good, we're making great progress. This is the thing to do for not only for our country, but investing in the future of some high-tech jobs and really in things that are being made in America. I think if we can do that and convince the administration that this is the right thing, then fine. Then this review could be a good thing. But if we spend 90 days and start looking at things, thinking maybe this isn't the right path, let's just stay in low Earth orbit, all of these things, and that's not good for this country.
Let's remind people, this is one of the last things we make, do, and export. We own this industry.
Yep, we do.
And we could easily lose it to the Chinese, India. There are any number of countries dying to eat our lunch, and we seem like we're ready to give them the lunch tray. Why? Why?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's one of those things. When I worked for Administrator Griffin, he always struggled with why every year do I have to come to Congress to justify why we need a space program. We don't do that with defense or homeland security. We shouldn't do that with space, and I think he makes a good point. But I think the challenge is what you talked about earlier. We are a country, a human nature of wanting a return on investment now. We go to quarterly, returns. We want to know what's happening, and this is an industry that takes decades sometimes to achieve its goals. And I think we have to look at this as that investment. But I think you brought up a good point that people that are watching this broadcast, go and tell other people why it's important to be involved in space. Get involved. Get on our website at coalition. SpaceCoalition.com and join on it. We have we do Twitter, we do Facebook. Let's get this viral campaign out there to really sell our space program.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis. A final visit to enhance the vision of Hubble into the deepest grandeur of our universe.